Okay, this is decimal multiplication reteach. This is based on your results from our decimal multiplication and division exit ticket that you took in Mastery Connect on Friday. If you're watching this, it's because you did not understand the concept of decimal multiplication, and before you move on, it's important that you do understand the concept. So this was the actual question that you had on the exit ticket, but before we get to that, let's review what we had talked about. We talked about when multiplying with decimal numbers that we're going to, before we multiply, we're going to get rid of the decimals, okay, the decimal points, and we're going to multiply as if they were whole numbers. So this one would become 538 times 291. So you would do the math. Then once you get your answer, your product, you would go and place the decimal point. So it's important to realize where the decimal point goes, because your answer for this question number 1 was B, and that's telling me that you put the decimal point in the wrong place. So going over this, you look at your first factor and you need to know how many decimal place values there are. There's the tenths place and there's the hundredths place. So there's 2 in the first factor. Then you look at the second factor. How many decimal place values are there? There's the tenths, the hundredths, and the thousandths. So there are 3. So you need to add them up. The 2 plus the 3 is going to equal 5. In your answer, you need to have 5 decimal place values. So to place the decimal point, you always start at the end of your number to the very, very right. And we're going to underline the digits. We need 5. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. These are our decimal place values. These are the numbers that fill our decimal place values. 1 is not a decimal place value. Therefore, our decimal point goes between the 1 and the 5. Okay, look at our second example. In our first factor, there is 1 decimal place value, the tenths. And in the second factor, there's the tenths, the hundredths, and the thousandths. There's 3. So that's a total of 4 decimal place values. We need 4 digits as decimal numbers, as decimal place values. So we start at the very right and we underline 1, 2, 3. Even though I'm out of numbers, I still need to draw my 4th line, because all of these represent the decimal place values. And when I have an empty spot, what am I supposed to do? That's right, annex a 0. So these are my 4 decimal place values, which means the decimal point goes in front. So this is the correct answer, the correct product for this problem. Now let's go back to the problem that we had. We had, what is the area of a piece of paper that is 8 5/10 inches wide and 12 inches long? So this is multiplication because we're looking for area. So write your expression. Always write your expression. 8 5/10 times 12. Okay, let's get rid of the decimal points. Getting rid of the decimal points means that we're going to have 85 times 12. You just multiply as if they're whole numbers. So you do the math. 10, 1, 16 plus 1 is 17. We're going to move to the tens spot, so we need to have a 0 on the ones, and then multiply by 1, 5, 8, add it together, keep everything lined up nice and neat. 7 plus 5 is 12, carry 1, there's 8, 9, 10. Alright, so we have 1020. This is our product, but we need to go back and place the decimal points. So looking, and you can see you guys chose B, the 1020. You didn't place the decimal point. I don't know if you were in a hurry and you just forgot to put it in there, or if you didn't think that it needed to be there. Either way, go back to your factors. In the first factor, there's just the tenths place, so 1. In the whole number, there is no decimal place value, okay, because it's the invisible decimal, which goes right at the end, and there's no numbers behind the decimal point. So we only need a total of 1 decimal place. So we start at the right side. This is going to be our decimal place. The decimal point goes between the 2 and the 0. So the correct answer should have been 102 square inches. So hopefully this explains it a little bit better. You understand it more, and we're going to see if you do. On your own sheet of paper, you're going to work these example problems. Okay, for A, B, and C, you're just going to place the decimal point in the product. So the answers are here for you on the right side. You're just going to place the decimal point where it goes. And then you do have a word problem. You're going to go ahead and solve this. Once you're done, you'll bring me your paper and I will check it to see how you did.